You're What's going on, everybody? We're back with some little fucking crazy today. Um, if you guys haven't been up on the news, Charlie Kirk has been shot at one of his events in Utah this morning, and I didn't know until I woke up. I'm off today. I had a fucking midday nap. It was a great nap, and I woke up to this shit. I was like, wait a minute, man. In a way, that's real, right? Like it was a real like I found out everything in like the matter of like 10 minutes because I think I woke up like an hour or so after it happened. So it was like I woke up and saw that he was shot, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe he was shot like in his like chest or his arm or some shit, whatever, right? And then more I looked, I'm like, oh, Charlie Kirk, he died, rip, this and that. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I saw the clip. The closer clip. The closer clip I saw first. The far away one I saw afterwards. But that 6 second clip of him just like popping and then like his neck like burst out and then the way he slumped over, I'm like, God. He's not. There's no praying for recovery from that one. Like it brought me back immediately to people obviously saying, "Oh, he's in critical condition. He's in the hospital." I'm like, "There's no way he is." Because I was thinking about the girl who got stabbed on a train in the neck like fucking 2 days ago, and she was like up for a minute. She was like processing. She was scared before she slumped over and passed away. Charlie slumped over damn near immediately. He got popped and then he slumped over like a beat and a half later. Like there's no in my mind immediately there was no getting around that. Like I watched that clip like 50 times. There's no way he's around that. But like so obviously the past couple hours I've been just like catch up on everybody's videos, watching everyone talk about this shit. And a lot of people are just really stunned and shocked that someone will really go and assassinate Charlie Kirk. Because Charlie Kirk's not like a bad dude, right? Don't like people. What the fuck? Pickle. What's going on, man? It's yeah. Good evening, maybe, bro. The video, dog. The video is fucking crazy, man. It was really I am grateful for the uncensorship that Twitter brings, but people are freaking the fuck out about it, and it's understandable because it's not for squeamish people. It's not something you want to go see if you're squeamish. But like, I personally can't not see it. Like, I'm not going to sit and pretend that I'm like a fan of Charlie Kirk. No, no, no. That's the far away one. I saw the close up one first. And that close up one is crazy. Yeah, exactly. The far away one's not too bad. The up close one was one I saw like 50 times. But Charlie Kirk's not a bad guy. He's very moderate in his position. He'll criticize the right as much as he criticizes the left. But like he's obviously more right than anything else. He's a moderate right. But you see people on the news and people on TikTok just celebrating the man's death. Like, dog, dude's not Osama bin Laden, bro. Osama bin Laden and Charlie Kirk are not the same kind of person. So, like, I can understand rooting for Osama's assassination. But Charlie, dude, I don't know if you ever watched him or not, but he's very fair. He will, like, listen to everybody. Sure, he'll cut people off sometimes like everyone else does, right? Hey, dude is my age. That's one of the things that hit me the most. Like he was my age. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? He has his whole life to live. He had 2 kids and a wife. All he preaches is about, well, not preaches, but all he really talks about and pushes is like the family unit, like getting back to church and like togetherness and all this kind of stuff. Sure, he speaks out against things like trans and whatnot, but that's not a reason to shoot the nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely insane. And I'm sure we'll see later in these other videos these people reacting to this type shit. was crazy unexpected. Crazy unexpected. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but he didn't deserve to go out like that. All right, let's see what Asmongold got to say about this shit. Because a lot of people I've been watching really are just kind of shocked and just kind of giving condolences and all kind of saying the same thing. And there's really not much more people can say about it right now. It's still the same day. But people like Asmon and like Ruin Leon come up next, and Stevie Knight, they kind of get me thinking in certain ways. So hopefully we can get some different kind of perspectives in this bitch. Well, how you doing, Pickle? We need a little bit of levity in here. Today's just been doom and gloom. We need to laugh a little bit. I might have heard Charlie incident since this morning, but one Discord, that's how I knew about it. Oh, so you don't like follow him, you just kind of saw it through the news. I feel you.
Hey guys, it's me again, and it's been a little while. Just before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos. My dad has been in the hospital for the better part of a week now. Very serious situation. It has required my full attention. And because of that, I've been on calls, I've been dealing with other people, talking to members of the family, and doing everything that I need to be there for my dad and for my family during this situation. And because of that, I haven't been live and I haven't made a lot of videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully I'll be back as soon as possible. That being said, we had something insane happen today, and I was able to break away a little bit earlier, and I wanted to make a video about it and talk about the obvious and inevitable nature of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This happened a few hours ago, and it was probably one of the most gruesome and graphic, and this is coming from somebody who grew up on LiveLeak, videos I've ever seen. The first time I saw a video, I thought it was AI generated. The guy gets shot in the neck, and blood is spurting out. I didn't even know it could do that.
No, that was right at the jugular. Whoever shot that either missed or intended to hit the jugular, because that was a perfect burst shot. No like credit. I'm just saying, like, objectively, that's what that was. It can do that if you hit the right spot. I was like confused because when I saw the comment saying Charlie Kirk incident was crazy, I didn't understand the comment a few hours later. And no, it's insane. Absolutely bananas.
And it was absolutely fucking horrifying to see something like that happen in front of a massive audience of people. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, Charlie Kirk has been a pretty
I couldn't imagine being in the fucking front row of that. That'd be crazy. Or the guy even asked him questions. Because the dude was in the middle. Actually, he was in the middle of answering a question when he got shot. But I was curious to see like the dude's face. I don't know how I would have reacted if that happened right in front of me.
Controversial guy. He's a conservative. He goes to a lot of college campuses, does live debates. This is a pretty popular format nowadays, and Charlie Kirk has been popularizing it and utilizing it now for many years, and he was even featured in South Park recently because of it. Charlie Kirk definitely is not a super radical right-wing person, but I would say that he's more...
The only thing he's radical about is his perspective on weed. You've seen Charlie moments? Yeah, he's a good debater.
Or of the moderate to, kind of extreme right wing. Very, very, I would say, lukewarm, though, in my opinion. At least especially...
I've watched a lot of his campus stuff. Like, they made a post earlier today on X about, like, I remember when he started doing the campus open discussions, and there would be, like, nobody there. Barely staff either. Just him, a couple people, and a few people maybe standing around, trying to just kind of waiting around, not really doing stuff. Maybe one person every so often come and say something. And then to see where it is, I was earlier today with a whole fucking crowd of people to support. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? He's really good at what he does, or what he did.
And this is where we're going, especially compared to now. And what I think is going to happen now, because obviously... these shootings like this don't really happen inside of a vacuum, and they never do, they never have. And I think that the situation that we have right now is that there is a tremendous amount of political violence that is advocated for, promoted, and allowed to exist on social media that has turned up the temperature in all political conversations, all social conversations, and all discourse on the internet in general to a point where it's almost unrecoverable. You have people that are out there all the
Almost.
time advocating for violence,
Yeah.
advocating for people to get killed. Somebody needs to take care of this guy. Somebody needs to deal with this.
Fucking Destiny made a post. I don't know how long ago it was, but one of the videos I saw earlier put it up. Said that exact thing. Like, who's gonna do it? And a picture of Charlie Kirk's fucking wiki fucking page was up there. It's like, that's obviously a call to violence. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Wish he were dead. Won't somebody do it? The 8647, all of the crypto messaging and all the doxing, right? Why do you dox somebody? Why do you post the person's home address? It's to make other people that are insane, like the person who killed Charlie Kirk, it's to give them the ammunition they need to.
Yes, this morning. In Utah, it was maybe like 10 in the morning. It's between like 10 and 1. But earlier today, yes.
Kill that person and to put that person's life in danger. That's why they're doing it. And so that's the reason why they want to find out the identities of ICE agents. That's the reason why they want to find out the identities of
Right,
Tesla
exactly.
owners, like at the beginning of the year. It's so they can destroy their car and destroy their lives. And this isn't necessarily a one-sided thing. I think that in the last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a like 90% left-wing thing, but that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either.
I don't know of any right-wing violence to this degree. This situation was quite. It has been quiet. It has been quiet ever since he got what 5 years. It's been quiet since then, and then I'm not really even surprised by that. That whole state was fucking disappointing. Like, I think I don't know if I recorded it, but I distinctly remember when the ruling came out that Diddy was only gonna have like 5 years. That he had his supporters outside, like this one girl was dancing in a circle, and this one guy was spraying baby all over her. It's like, what the fuck is going? Like, listen, man, this is why we need Arkham Asylum. What's going on, Tim? How you doing, bro?
But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales. The fact is that
I hope not. I really hope not. People have been talking about civil war, and I don't think it's going to spark a civil war, specifically because there's people on the right saying that we don't want or need any more violence. We don't need any more violence. No one with a rational brain is calling for any more violence. Right? That's how you weed these people out. Anyone calling for more violence, like fucking publicly shame the masses, bro. We don't need that shit.
you can take a knife to a gunfight
I can't believe it either, Tim. It's really shocking. I'm not the biggest fan of Charlie, but dude didn't deserve to go out like that.
all you want, and you can think that you're honorable, but you're going to end up being dead. And I think that's what right-wing people have done for a very long time. They've tried to speak above the political violence. They've tried to advocate above it and not try to stoop down to that level. But the issue is that a lot of these social media companies have expressed literally zero desire to even do the bare minimum of moderation. I think that two of the worst actors are Twitter or X and Reddit. Both.
That is pretty tough because it's like there's one thing about freedom of speech and another thing about, calling to violence. Because if you're going to have freedom of speech on a social media platform, you can call for violence. But at the same time, calling for violence is against the law and obviously dangerous. So it's like how you're going to balance the freedom of speech and the protection of calls to violence and the effects that can have on people. Another person killed Trump's friend. The killer definitely getting a death threat. They're the same person? Oh, sorry, I misread that. Because Charlie is Trump's friend, right. Do you know if I don't know if they actually caught the guy. I know the first one they fingered for them, the old guy in the blue shirt. I think they said that wasn't actually him. I'm really not sure if they called him or not.
Of these
But they caught the guy who killed the girl on the train in like half an hour. I'm surprised they don't have that guy by now.
platforms are full of a bunch of extremist nut jobs that not only should have their accounts banned, but they should probably be put in mental institutions.
Arkham
And I
Asylum.
think that now I find it to be kind of interesting taking a step back for a week or so and seeing how many people are coming around to the inevitable reality that this is the only path forward. There are so
If at this time, if it's not an old white guy wearing a blue shirt, then it's a different guy. That's the only one I've seen so far, but I haven't heard anything new since then.
many people in society now
But it is
that are
possible. It's
just
happened before.
completely unhinged, under medicated,
Like, all the chaos and shit going on, it's perfectly possible for that to happen.
and really just completely insane that you can't have a person like that running wild out in society. They cause problems for themselves, not to mention everybody else around them. And I think that the society, we need to have an honest conversation about how to deal with these people in a way that, and I'll be real, I don't really care about the people that are crazy. Their well-being and the way that, things are for them. Of course, obviously, I wouldn't want it to be bad, but it's certainly not important. What's really important is all the people who aren't crazy, making sure that people that are not crazy, that are good actors, that are law-abiding citizens, are able to live a life of peace, a life of prosperity, and a life without fear of going on the subway, for example, as at the recent event as well. And I think that every single person in the world deserves to live in a place like that. And I don't want to see, America turn into a PvP server. And it sure seems like it is.
Yeah,
and
it
I
seems
think
like
that in order to prevent that from happening, we need to have honest conversations about what do you do with people that, get arrested 14 times. And it's not even a question, right? You put them in jail and you throw away the key and you compel them to work, and that way you can make the money back from imprisoning them forever. That's the way that you solve that problem. It's very simple, actually. But for some reason, the way that makes people feel has made them unwilling to look at this obvious truth. If you look in history,
Oh,
this
word?
is
How
what
is
we've
it?
always done in history, and it's because it works. And the problem is that now we have so much of the discourse that's dominated by emotional thinking, that's dominated by the most unstable, the most virtue signal, the most,
Fucking hate virtue
ridiculous,
signals.
performative empathy possible, and that's defining a huge political voice in the country. This has become a tremendous detriment to everyone. And I think that with people like the shooter that probably shot Charlie Kirk, with that guy in the subway that stabbed that Ukrainian woman, or with that trans shooter that shot up the school, one thing that's common among all of them is that these people, in almost all cases, were verifiably nuts beforehand, and nothing ever was done about it. And until we can stomach the idea of solving problems like that before they happen, we're going to keep having problems. And I think that with Charlie Kirk, it's very obvious that the amount of, political violence and advocating for political violence that's happening on the internet has turned up the temperature and created an environment and a culture where this type of behavior is normal. And not only is it normal, but it's actually encouraged. And the problem is that
very
now
encouraged.
people are
It's
acting
disgusting.
on it. And you're starting to see this happen, and I think it's going to continue getting worse. I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be the last one, but I think that we will look at Charlie Kirk's death and see it as a turning point in this topic. And
Literally.
what I'm really trying to get at here with this entire point is that right now we are at a extremely pivotal moment. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. They're not going to continue to just, oh, well, this is just a crazy left-wing radical. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people. And honestly, while I don't think this is a good thing, I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them.
I really hope not, like, in this, capacity, because that will just perpetuate a cycle of hatred that we don't need. We don't need another layer of a cycle of hatred. We have way too many as it is. But I do see where he's coming from, and the possibility is definitely there.
because a lot of left-wing people have no problem advocating for violence, or at least
Yes.
using coded language in order to advocate for violence. The fact is that there's a certain level of intellectual dishonesty that goes on in situations like this where
It's not even a certain level. It's a significant amount. To the point where it's like willfully ignoring certain things just to keep your fucking internet points, where the fuck it is. It's really crazy. There's one lady on the Instagram. I followed her just because she's cute, but I actually heard her speak for once, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She was saying something about how this racist Charlie Kirk got shot at his Utah fucking thing, and she went on this comparison about how he would talk bad about black people and saying how black people cause commit more crimes than anybody else, any other racial group in America, which is true, especially by per capita, which is true. But she said that, oh, now he got shot by he got shot by a white man. So I guess what you're saying isn't true. It's like, bitch, what do you mean? Just because fucking black people commit more crimes than white people doesn't mean white people don't commit crimes. That's fucking retarded. So I unfollowed her. But still, it's so like disgustingly dishonest. Or she really doesn't understand what the fuck he's saying. Which makes sense, because race baiters do the same thing, which is the intellectual dishonesty.
it's considered, oh, well, this isn't actually what they meant, and no, this is actually some others. No, it is. It's exactly what they mean. They're trying to advocate for killing people that they disagree with. That's what's happening, and there's no talking around it. And to the extent that you try to, you're insulting the intelligence of anyone that you're speaking to. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now even more, because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate.
Some people are, am I allowed to say the R word? The R-tard word? The art. You could use the R-tard word in here. That's just fucking funny. I might use it like that. The R-tard word.
This behavior. The FBI, for whatever reason, just refuses to deal with or have any degree of accountability for dealing with these obvious terrorists that are in the country. And because of that, I think you're going to start seeing an uptick of violence from right-wing people as well. And this is going to be, in my opinion, I don't really think...
Yeah, some people are retarded. Some people are retarded, and some people are more. The majority of the people are pushing an agenda. Because as I said with the example before, she framed it in a way of, like, first of all, of a false foundation being like Charlie being racist and attacking black people. Criticism is not attacking black people, right? But she can say it like that because she's intellectually dishonest. You know what I'm saying? She's not retarded. She's just being. That's an example. But there are people who are retarded. I'm sure we'll see in future videos, the other two that I have coming up with the TikToks and shit, we'll definitely see a whole bunch of retarded shit. That's for sure.
The word is justified because it's not justified, but the word is expected. I think it's going to be expected. The fact is that, again, you bring a knife to a gunfight, you're going to lose. And don't be surprised when you keep bringing guns to gunfights and then somebody else decides to start shooting back. I think that's what's...
It would be brain rot shit if it was an entire compilation, but it's when I have a whole 10 minutes of it. We'll be reacting to somebody else reacting to. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I can't do a half an hour of brain rot unless you pay me.
It's going to happen. And I think this is a degradation of society as a whole. And ultimately, the real burden of responsibility here doesn't really fall on influencers, and I don't think that it falls even on the commenters themselves. I think it falls primarily on the government. The fact is that the government, there are already laws that permit, explicit calls to violence. There's already laws that permit the types of stalking and doxing that people...
That is true. And I guess to what I was saying earlier about how to balance freedom of speech and call to violence. Obviously, freedom of speech only goes so far, in so far as stopping a cause of violence and other things. So when these social media platforms have to adhere to those laws, so you would have a filter system to and AI is definitely smart enough to recognize what a cult of violence would be like. So you can just flag them like that. Twitter's smart enough for that.
engage in online.
I don't know if
And
Reddit
one
is,
of
but
the big
Twitter is.
things that is a misconception is that people like me want new laws. We want any form of extra censorship at all. I certainly don't want that, and I don't know anybody else that does either. But what we do want is we want the existing laws to be applied and to be enforced in an accurate and a fair way, which is clearly not what's happening. And really, the government not doing that and giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to fully and free with complete freedom practice.
By the way, your thought on Sparking Zero coming to Switch One? Why is it coming to Switch One? Why? Why? Why wouldn't you put on the Switch Two? They still supporting Switch One? I mean, the Switch One should be able to handle it. I'd be surprised if it couldn't, but I don't see the point in it. Why wouldn't they just support or just put it on the Switch 2? I have no idea. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Do people still buy the Switch 1? They were Switch 2. Oh, so they just put it on the Switch. Why? What the fuck? Why? I mean, if it works, it works. But I personally don't see the reason for it. When did Sparking Zero come out? Last year? That was last year, right? $60 for Switch 2 edition. How much is it? Is it also 60 for the Switch 1? Because it shouldn't be also 60 for the Switch 1. Yes, it came out last year. That's a fine price, I guess. I mean, that's not too bad for it. Sparking Zero is not a bad game, so as long as it's optimized well, then it should be fine. I have no problem with it. It's just I just don't see the point. Honestly, it seems like going backwards for no reason.
This genuine terrorism on a daily basis, and then congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so
30 on both? Okay, I can understand 30 on the Switch 1, but 30 on the Switch 2 is ridiculous. Not that price down 20 bones.
And I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or,
That's what who said that? Tim Pool said that earlier. Tim Pool brought up that Hassan Piker was saying also that there's no more violence. Stop celebrating this shit, right? Although his motivation was that it'll happen to me, which is selfish, but also true. So he's not wrong about that. But having him also say no violence is probably a good sign that we're not going to have a civil war anytime soon.
they're
Unless someone kills Hassan Piker, which I'm not advocating for.
like icons that they look up to, the same way people looked up to Charlie Kirk. Until they start seeing those people get killed, I don't think it's really going to be real
You think 60 is a steal for Sparking Zero?
for them. And unfortunately,
For both? Wait. You're not buying one for both, right? Just buy for wait. Can you buy it on the Switch 2 and then play it on the Switch 1? If you can't do that, then that's actually a fucking rip.
I think that's the path that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other
better get the
seemingly
Switch 2
governmental
edition.
apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So the death of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of him should not come as a surprise to anyone. this should be something that everybody.
I am very surprised by it because Charlie Cook's such like a decent guy. Like I can understand to a certain degree how someone can see what he's saying is to be harmful if you'll put your mind in their mind, right? That's what I'm saying. But for Charlie Kirk specifically, no, I don't think I never saw that coming. I'm very surprised by that. Anybody else, sure. Him, not really. Even fucking I'm not gonna say names. That's a bad idea. But still, Charlie Kirk was very surprising.
Could have expected. All you had to do is read Twitter for an hour and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. Same with Reddit. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type of social discourse. And I'm actually kind of afraid to see what's going to happen next, because I think it's just going to continue getting worse.
That kind of makes sense. But I mean, if as long as it works fine, then that's fine. But like in general, I personally wouldn't have wasted my time to put on the Switch 1. I probably would have made the Switch, put all that effort into make the Switch 2 one better.
And I don't see the reason for it to stop. And so anyway, I wanted to make this video because it's obviously a topic that, I've been talking about this a lot for the past few years now. And I was laughed at a lot, and people were telling me it wasn't that big of a deal, and oh, they were joking. Well, I saw the video. That wasn't a joke. And the reality is that those jokes and everything create a culture and an environment where the actual actions are more permissible. And you also have people that are the ones telling the quote jokes that are talking around just, directly, saying that this is a bad thing and it shouldn't be tolerated for any reason. I don't want to go through.
I want to play the first one first because that's on Game Pass. I don't know how long the games are, but I'm also not super skilled at Castlevania games, so it actually might be something good to do for the channel. But I do want to play the Hollow Knight first, and I'll play Silksong after.
A bunch of different names, but anybody, this is the way I look at it, I'm just going to make a categorical judgment here, is that any content creator or anybody like this who has been advocating for violence against a person in an extrajudicial way. I'm not talking about trying people who they disagree with for treason. This is advocating for the judicial process to be used against people they disagree with.
He was saying something about jokes. Jokes are very, very fine line to walk. Because, a few years ago, you have comedians making woke jokes and they'd be like, oh, well, they're just a joke, right? There's a significant difference between a joke and, like, pushing for the death of someone. You could say, someone should kill, blah, blah, blah. Ha, 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 just kidding. But, like with the way people, like, actually celebrate it and really, like unironically, like you can tell if you're funny, you can tell what's a joke and what's not a joke. You really can. Even if it is a dark, morbid joke, you can tell what's a joke and what's not. That whole who's gonna do it with the picture of Charlie Kirk, that's not a joke.
I think that's fine. But whenever you have people that are saying things like 8647, or anybody who's advocating for any form of extrajudicial justice, extrajudicial justice.
Jokes are jokes when there's like a setup and there's like a comedic intent behind it, right? If you're going to go on Twitter and be like, I'm going to celebrate on behalf of all the people, woo! It sounds fun, it sounds blah blah, but it's not a joke. Right, but you have someone could make a JFK assassination joke and it could be really funny, but because it's structured and set up like a joke, right? And enough time has passed. I think there is a bit of time between tragedy and comedy, because there's plenty of dark jokes been made over the decades about people's deaths and assassinations, right? It's just, again, it depends on how you do it and the timing of it and the intent behind it.
And basically vigilante justice on people who they disagree with politically. You have to realize that all of those people, I think, have made themselves acceptable targets. And I think that there's a lot and millions of people out there nowadays.
You know what I also really think it is? It's a matter if they're already alive or not. If someone got assassinated like 30 years ago, and someone makes a joke about it, it could be really funny. But joking about someone's death to come is different because they're already alive, right? And also, again, depends on the context around it. But still, being someone who isn't dead yet, don't be making like kill jokes or death jokes.
That see that. And I think that that should be extremely worrying for them.
Should
Be terrifying. But the reality is that they have created that environment themselves through their own actions, through their behavior, and through their own words. You reap what you sow. And I think that things are about to get a whole lot worse. So anyway, guys, I wanted to make this video and talk about it. And that's about all I've got to say. So I hope to be back soon. I'll record videos when I can, here and there. But for the most part, as I said before, my dad has had so many really serious issues going on. I need to devote my full attention to making sure that he's healthy and taken care of. And so as much as I look forward to streaming, this has to take priority. I don't have a time frame. It will probably be a matter of weeks and maybe not even that long until I'm back regularly. And so hopefully that's the case. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Another senseless death that never needed to happen. And I think that anybody who was, talking about this and turning up the heat on any of this type of political rhetoric and discussing, or at least, flirting with the idea of political violence, I think all of those people have made themselves acceptable targets in all of the worst ways possible. And I don't think that this is a good thing either, but I think it's happened. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. And I guess I'll see you soon. Anyway, peace.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute that Asmon's been gone. His dad's been going through stuff for a while now. But yeah, we got more to get through, and it's really tough to say certain things because that kind of justification of like reap what you sow. These people who make fun of these kind of things and make these kind of jokes say the same